Alright, so it's nearly what? Let me show you the time actually. Menu. Alright, let me turn this around. Boom, boom, boom. It's nearly 11 p.m. dude, and I'm at this gym. The last thing I want to do is be at the gym. Right, I'd rather be sleeping, name it, watching a movie, anything, honestly, rather than being here at the gym. I think, but I made myself a promise because I've not been to the gym in a week. I said, look, I'll go in the evening today, and I've just not had time. I did procrastinate a little, but I'm sticking to my promise and coming. Yeah, I'd rather be doing, I'd rather even be sleeping, but I'm going to keep that promise to myself. I know it's beneficial for me because I've not been in ages. I've also got to do a long session. But what I want to say is, right now I feel like I'm doing too much and I'm spreading myself thin. You've got work. You've got content. I've got cricket on the weekends. I've got gym. I've got trying to maintain a social life. Other stuff. Your meals, whatnot. There's a lot going on. But at the same time, you spread yourself too thin and you don't really end up devoting yourself to anything, if that makes sense, sometimes, right? And that's okay, as long as you're making progress in the areas that matter. And then sometimes reevaluate when it comes to things like this. Be like, hey, what in my life is going right? What in my life can I subtract and minus? That's what you got to look at. If you're really busy, what can you take away that's taking up that time that you can then use on the things that you need to actually get done? So that's the main thing. What advice for myself or anyone listening? You can easily look back at your day or weeks and be like, oh, okay, there and here, I sort of, wasted time. But yeah, man, in the future, it's all going to be worth it. Remember, delayed gratification when it comes to anything, whether that's your future career or anything, your body, putting in the work in the gym or running, it's worth it. Another thing I want to say is that I have everything in my life. Everything you could ever imagine. Okay, apart from maybe I'm not wifed up, I don't have a girlfriend, but that doesn't mean anything because I have everything else. And I'll be honest with you, if I wanted to, I could have a girlfriend. I'm not saying that to be cocky or vain, but I'm saying that because I don't have a girlfriend because I have high standards. I'm not going to settle for less, right? But I don't want to miss the point I'm making. The point I'm making is I have everything else in my life. I have a good job. Look, let me show you this. I have a really nice car. I'm driving a 7 Series, dude. Like, I'm so blessed. I have everything that you could, a normal person might want, but your brain always has this thing that, what's missing? That's what it'd want, right? At the same time, I've come to a conclusion. The conclusion is, normally, what takes up most of your days, most of your hours in the day, if those hours aren't giving you fulfillment, then you're not going to be happy. That is literally my conclusion. You've got to. This is why I'm trying to make videos and produce to give back from what I've learned. Maybe it could help someone else. The fact that even podcasts, because I love talking to people, I love getting to know people's stories, and I am generally a very curious person when it comes to getting to know people, and I love getting to know people. That's why I'd have conversations and I'd ask about someone's life forever, because I'm generally curious and interested in them, and I love having meaningful conversations. That's why I am trying to start this podcast / this YouTube's for basically just documenting my life, and if it goes anywhere, great. If not, still great. You learn from it, right? And also TikTok and socials. But I think the point I'm trying to get at, right? I know I've gone around in a circle. I'm trying to get to that destination for you, to me, to make that point. I'm trying to say, look, most of your hours in a day, are made for you to get fulfillment. And if you don't get fulfillment in those areas, you have to make up for it in some way, right? That's why I'm starting the podcast and YouTube for myself. Find what it is for you. sometimes what you're doing in the current moment is just a stepping stone for the next moment, and sometimes it's basically so you can learn enough to be good enough for the next moment, and so you can appreciate the next moment. Imagine you'd gotten everything in your life that you ever want. You basically wouldn't be that happy, would you? Like, because you wouldn't have anything to compare it to. So you wouldn't be grateful because you'd be like, oh, you'd still somehow your brain would think, oh, there's something missing. So it's about changing that filter of, instead of what's missing. And I don't want to say the glass half empty, half full cliche, because that goes in one ear out the other because you've heard it so many times. I'm trying to say, change the filter or the lens you look at life with. Instead of looking at things which are missing, look at things which that are now, right? Like, if I said to myself, wow, like at the age of 18 that I'll be driving a BMW 7 Series, and like, you know, in my mid to late, at this age, 27, I would have been like, oh, what? If I said to myself I'd be on the salary I am, I would have been like, I would have taken it. If I said to myself I would have travelled the countries I've travelled to, I would have just been like, wow. If I said to myself, the list goes on, but after doing all of that, sometimes I'm still not extremely happy. Obviously, there are times in my week where I am happy, right? But there's times where I'm not, and I think that's just normal. But at the same time, you're just finding out why you're not happy 24/7, 7 days a week. And the conclusion I've come to realise is, what gives you happiness is meaningful connections with people, the right people. Every time I catch up with good friends, I feel happy. It's doing stuff that you enjoy and love. For me, it's like traveling. I love traveling. I love talking to people. I love good food. I do like being in good shape. I like the freedom that money gives. Like, if I could, basically, someone could give me like £10 million and be like, Bow, you don't have to work again, I'll be happy, because, and I wouldn't even want fame, I'll be honest with you. I don't want fame, because the reason people look for fame is so that they can do what they want, basically for the money, and they can do what they want with whoever they want, when they want. That's the main thing in life. There's a system in place for everyone to, quotation marks, slave away. It's called modern day slavery. I've said it, look. And I'm very, very grateful for my job. My job is so, so good in terms of the fact that, I'm very lucky to be working at the place I am. It's given me everything in my life. The opportunity to travel. I am like a qualified accountant. I'm not taking that away from, if you're doing a normal job, look, I am doing one, right? It pays for my lifestyle. It pays for my bills. I'm very grateful for my job. But the thing, and I have to say that because I am, and the thing I'm trying to get to is that this modern day slavery system that everyone's trapped in is basically that you just work your life away, right? And to some people it doesn't give them fulfillment. Let's be honest. And you have to find that fulfillment in other areas in life. And you have to see what it is. They say it's what you like consuming is what you should produce. So if that's YouTube videos, produce YouTube videos. If that's look, just Google it, right? You can go on ChatGPT nowadays and be like, this is what I like doing, what shall I produce? At the same time, the years will go by if you don't take action. The days will go by, the months, the weeks, the decades will. And then before you know it, life's over. And it's a bit scary to think about, right? And you come to a realisation. My grandma passed away in March. And I always get emotional thinking about it as well. But I'm going to try not to. But she loved me so much, man. And like, why I'm bringing this up is, I remember when she was on, it was, I think it was called, it's called hospice care? Palliative care, right? Palliative care. So where it's basically, they give you 2 weeks, and, or sorry, cough. Basically, they give you about 2 weeks, and it's a palliative care or a rough period. They don't tell you the exact time or day or days that left for the person, but they say the time is there. And I was sitting there in my grandma's bed, as a family does, whilst as a person's last sort of, last few breaths in their life, you can say, but I was sitting there, and I was like, I saw my grandma's iPhone beside her bed, and I remember her telling me, "Oh, I want a new iPhone, and you want a new iPhone," and she bought herself a new iPhone, right? Like months earlier, and I was like, "Wow!" It's just literally on beside her bed. She was basically unconscious because the nurses would come in and give her an injection, and with the injection, she'd basically just fall asleep, right? Because she'd be in so much pain, so we had the nurses come in, and she'd be sleeping and just unconscious, and we'll be beside her bed. And the energy in that room was just so much. You can feel the energy. It's hard to describe. I can't put it into words, but you can feel the energy in a room when someone's in the last moments of their life. And I saw that iPhone laying there beside her bed, and I was like, wow, she can't use it anymore. She's not going to take it with her. Like, that's it. Like that material thing that my grandma was saying she wants a few months earlier. Now she's not going to be able to take it with her. Like, at the end of the day, it's for a human form. If we're thinking humanly in this 3D reality and not in the bigger realm of which is spirituality. I'm not even going to get into that basically because this topic I'm trying to make for some, anyways, basically the thing I'm trying to get to is that the phone doesn't go with you, but that can be applied to anything. All these material things, this car's not going to go with me when I die. It's giving me a nice life, maybe a better life now in terms of I can put the heated seats on. I can put the massage seats on the heated steering wheel. I didn't even know that was a thing a year ago, a heated steering wheel. I can put that on. But none of this is going to go with me when I die. Maybe the one thing I could be proud of is that one TikTok video I made, or YouTube video I made, basically had a few comments on there, even if it was one or a few, saying, hey man, like the thing you said really is what I needed to hear at this moment in time. At the same time, when I saw that comment, I was like very grateful for that. But at the same time, I was thinking, this video's only got like, 30, 40 likes. But then it's like, slow down, man. Like, you got this one comment from this person. That's all you needed, really, was that one comment. That was worth it. The video was worth making because you changed that person's day / maybe life. I don't know. But that they commented on video. Who knows? You might have changed more people's, way of thinking. But the fact that one person commented on your video, right? Because maybe some people might have not had the courage to, but that one person commented on the video saying, hey, man, hey, this is what I really wanted to hear. That's all it really matters. It means the video was worth uploading. Back to the point of what I was trying to say is my grandma passed away, and one thing I remember was the love she showed me. Same way when it's not about your legacy or what you want to be remembered as. It's like, which sort look, think after this before. Say you were to die in 5 years' time, or let's make it sooner, so that actually seems more. It seems scarier. Say you were to die in a month or 2 months' time. What is it that you do right now? Whatever comes to your head. For me, it's traveling. That is what you should be doing. Right? Find out what it is for you, and do it. Because another thing, life's very, very, very lucky. You can search the odds of us being alive right now, and the chances of everything. The amount of if you don't believe in God, whatever you don't believe in, I don't care. Like, it's your life. You can believe in whatever you want, but you just got to realize there's chances of this reality of us being here right now is so slim. You ever just look up in the sky and see an aeroplane and think, wow, 50 to 100 years ago, that was not possible. 50 to 100 years ago, this life we're living right now, going from A to B in a car like that was not possible 100 years ago or X amount of years ago, because these things that we take for granted now that let us live so in the fast lane was not possible that many years ago. Yet people are so unfulfilled nowadays, right? Doesn't make sense. But if you take a step back and just think of how things work, one thing that really got to me was I think it was an example someone gave me during COVID-19, whatever. Basically people were getting angry, right, saying, hey, we're only allowed one walk a day outside the house. But why? And obviously it got to a point where they was testing it out for X amount of time, but people were literally about to start disobeying the law and start going for, some people going for more than one walk. But basically people were getting angry, right? And the next thing you know, they put the Premier League on and other stuff. Yeah, and people sort of forgot about what was going on, right? I feel like that was a test, but where's COVID gone now? That's just what I'm saying. They basically, it's the perfect example I want to use that is similar to this is, it's the Roman Colosseum that the emperor would always when the normal people want to, they'll start thinking of overthrowing or whatnot. The emperor would always basically start the Colosseum, the gladiator fights and whatnot, just to distract people from their, well, I don't want to say their pain, but what they were thinking. Research into that example, and I feel like you'll find out what I'm trying to say. That's one. And also, that's if this video stays up, because if it doesn't, then this is not freedom of speech. But what I'm trying to get to is that the system is made in a way where people work, they increase the pension age. This takes up most of your life, but if you're doing unfulfilled, if a lot of your day is unfulfilled because of maybe what you're doing, that's probably a reason why you're unhappy. You have to find what gives you happiness, and sometimes you have to go through periods of, boredom and periods of self-reflection to get to and know yourself better and to find out what makes you happy. I know I've gone around in this video, but essentially I'm outside this gym. I'm going to now go in and get a session done, even though I've not had any motivation to. But I know this is what I need to do. It's really important, so I'm going to do it. And I want to make this video. I'm not going to cut anything, or if you listen to this, I'm going to post this. Who knows, I might delete it. I might keep it up. But one of the messages I wanted to give you was, think about what's going on in your life. Think about where you'll be in a year's time, 5 years, if you carry on doing what you're doing. Is that what you want to do? Is that going to make you happy? Always question that, because those years will go by and you're going to... And also, don't listen to what people say is going to make you happy, because they don't know what's going to make you happy. People might love you and say, hey, you need to be a doctor, or do X, Y, Z, and I promise you'll be happy. No, don't listen to those people. Of course, money can help in a way, but it's not the solution, because it allows you to do things, maybe find out what you like doing. But what I'm trying to say is, man, and I've always, my best advice is maybe journal, maybe meditate. And loads of people have this bad preconception about meditation. If you've never done it, don't judge it until you try it. And also meditate and think about, trust me, they say all the answers you ever need are inside you. You don't need for people to be like, oh, this is what you need to do. Because people, even your parents or anyone, they love you, but they don't know what's best for you. Only you know what's best for you. So do what that voice inside you is telling you. And remember, if you're good enough to listen to your intuition, that voice will always guide you to your higher path, your best path. Sometimes you might feel low because you you're not following that path that you need to. And so when you're feeling joy is when you're on the right path. Just note those moments down when you're happy, when time just passes by and you don't notice it pass by. That is what you need to be doing. Sometimes it's just doing your normal job and just being in a flow state, just being so focused, no distractions, time goes by. But also, like, question what makes you happy and question out the way things are in this world. And trust me, because this life can go by if you notice or not. But you can definitely live the life of your dreams. It's all possible. It's all about, starts with this and ends with this. Is how you think. Remember, you won't take anything with you. Just like my grandma took nothing with her. So it's about how you show love, and how you make people feel. But that mainly comes from how you feel, and that's if you do the things that you love.